everyone, it's Tony Hayes again from Paranormal Investigation UK. It is Monday the 21st of September, and we're back on the Chester case. On this occasion, just a reminder, those that are following carefully, I know a number of you are, the only went on holiday, I think it was around about the 19th of September, but I'm probably going to be wrong with that. We went on holiday. Also, the room itself, where we had cameras there, based there 7 days of the week, because the empty room has been put white. The owner simply wants to put it back out for rent. We've had to remove the cameras during the week, so when people go into the property to have a look around it, he's not left in any sort of embarrassing situation asking why the cameras are there. So they tend to get stripped out for the Monday to Friday, pop back in at the moment, late Saturday afternoon, to ensure that no one's, some interested parties have arrived there Saturday morning. So we don't put back into Saturday afternoon, and then they're removed again on the Sunday night. We're putting 2 cameras in, one on the window ledge as well as one near the door to cover the full 360 room area, and that's just to ensure that if somebody comes through the if you look at this video, it's on here, there's a camera there on that window ledge, the door is around about here, the camera 1, as we call, is on the kitchen counter. I want to be ruled absolutely out completely that we're getting no outside interference. What I mean by that is possible fraud. Although the rooms and the actual building itself is empty, because this one's taken nearly at 8:30 on the 19th, which was, what was the 19th? That was a Saturday, just gone. I want to rule that out, so if anyone does come through that door, this camera here will immediately pick it up. I've not had a chance to review these. They came in at the weekend. I have no idea what these are containing, if it's a visual or it's a sound. I simply don't know. So let's make a start with that anyway. So that's the basic change of what's happened. We're down to about just a day, maybe day and a half of footage from 7 because of circumstances. The owner went away for around about a week as well, so we lost a considerable amount of time there. But this building is still producing interesting phenomena. So this is just another one. So 19th of September, this one, at 26 minutes past 8 at night. Let's get straight into this. What I'm going to do first is do the visual thing. I'm not that interested at the moment on the audio. I'm going to just check the visual, make sure there's nothing on there that's we're aware of. In fact, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to mute it. Now, the reason for this is, as I've said before, if I've got to watch something and listen to it at the same time, I'm sort of splitting up my my brain power here. And yes, I do agree that it's best to just simply focus on one item, and in this case we're going to be focusing on the visual. So let's make a start there. I will be able to talk because you're not going to hear anything on this one, and we're just checking something visual. Still going to be lightish outside. The place does have some amount of not street lighting but lighting outside the property. This is what's certainly well lit, and that just aids the security. These videos tend to be about between 58 seconds and 1 minute in length. Let's put that to time. Yeah, exactly 1 minute. Yeah. So the way these cameras work, just to go recap, These are CCTV camera alarms and the timestamp there. If the camera sees or hears something, it will send to normally a smartphone a alarm. It says 10 seconds before. So for example, if it's a noise or an anomaly, it'll save that as a capture 10 seconds before, 50 seconds after. That's how it works. If the anomaly continues, the camera will keep on recording. So what we're dealing with is that the owner of the building gets the CCTV 1 minute segments of footage. He then just simply forwards it back onto us, timestamp. Very good evidence. These not been tampered with whatsoever. These have been an absolute dream to review, considering some of the stuff that all investigators tend to handle these days. So I've not seen anything visual on there at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mute it. What I tend to do with the audio, this microphone, I call camera 1, is the noise to sound ratio is quite low. And what I mean by that is that on normal volume, it'll work fine. It's not too bad. Once you start increasing the volume, amplify it goes incredibly noisy, just down to these cheapish sort of cameras. And one of the they're interested in the just capturing this audio, not particularly the quality of it. And all the camera microphones, they tend to differ. It's not like a standardized microphone. Some are more noisy than the others, which is unfortunate. So just to explain that to you, so you can actually see this for yourself, I've got no EQ on. I'm using it completely flat. I'm just using this as amplification, but I'm on 0, and get rid of the audio panel because we're now interested, obviously, in. Let's get rid of that track, it's not needed. We're now interested in just the audio. I'm also going to be using a spectrum analyzer. We are experimenting now more in 3-dimensional layers of audio rather than the normal 2 dimensions. A dimensional, which is what this one is. But I like this. It's trusty, it's reliable, and I think with using something consistently and repeatedly, you just get to know how it's performing. So this is what it sounds like with no volume added. Okay. Right, okay, so noise there. So as you can see, it's quite quiet. Now as I begin to turn the volume up, I will go back to the beginning. You just hear that hiss coming in now. And what I tend to do, I keep turning it up until I start seeing traces of sound at the bottom of the analyzer. You can just see it's there now. And I'll just back it up a touch. Clearly we can hear it. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning again. I'll get rid of that. Ooh. And I'm not there. Oh. That sounds like a... This is quite strange, this one. I've not reviewed this one. Honestly, I've not looked at this. I just got it sent at the weekend, put it into the folder, and I've got another 2 to follow after this one. That is quite hard. That's a microphone strike. That is something very specific to the microphone. You get that if you were to... I don't know where the microphones are actually situated on these cameras, but that is undoubtedly the microphone being struck. Yeah. or maybe it's quite. That's like a power surge. You get that where you've got a speaker device, for example, which is plugged into some sort of sound source, and you pull the lead out and push it back in, and you get this very thick bass frequency thump. And if it's loud enough, it will destroy a speaker pretty quickly. And although the cameras themselves are not equipped with speakers, but had it done, that is enough to take out a speaker when you just simply unplug without turning the volume down. So we've got a CCTV camera. It has got a microphone. It's got no form of volume source. You can't turn it up or down. But if that was plugged into some sort of source, that would probably take the speaker out. It's loud enough. Yeah, this massive low frequency pop. Yeah, straight into the red. What was caused that on the night? What time was this? 8:30. I think that was a Saturday night. Yes, it was a Saturday night. 8:30. Still possible somebody hanging around. I'm just going to run this just to say that no flashes of light, which would indicate thunder, maybe another one, lightning. These, I've got lights outside the building, that's why it's a lot lighter. There doesn't appear to be any loss of picture quality, which you would get if you simply went to the wall, where it's just a 230 volt power unit plugged into the wall socket, switch it on and off. That would cause it, but you'd expect that to flicker, and that doesn't occur. So those of you that are investigators looking in, what I'm actually going to look at with this is always make notes as you go review footage to remind you of something you may do. And one of the things I'm going to look at is the weather, and we need the weather for, obviously, for the Chester area that of the building, and obviously so the 9th of September, and particularly the time. You can actually go back quite a, you know, I've gone back years on occasions to look at it. It's a question of Google and just find out what that actually is. So I'm going to treat this as 3 separate events. The first one being this strange sound, which it could be microphones, so somebody interfering with a microphone, but it sounds more like an electrical surge sound, mainly because if I was to strike the microphone, get rid of that for a second, I would expect the strike across quite a frequency range. This is very distinct low end frequency. There you go, just there. Bang. So that's some form of power, something to do with electricity has caused that particular sound. Interesting. Okay, right, let's move on to the next bit, because I think I heard a rap, one of my favourites. There. They're the most common phenomena in this room, and one day I'll get on top of what's actually causing these. Okay. I promise you haven't reviewed it, and so I've got the phone there going off. Right, let's just have a look at this. Yeah, quite low. It's normally around about 500 to 800 hertz. This is going to be. I can get some of this. This is where the benefit is. Once you know your frequency, let me just stop that a second. Once you've got a general idea where you want to go with the frequency, you can start to take some of that out that you're not needed. I've got a general idea. I can see it on the graph there that it's around about between 500 and 800 hertz, which is what we're predominantly seeing in this particular building. So I'm going to take a lot of the frequency out towards it, leave that there, and it'll just clean the sound up a little bit because we're not interested in hearing a load of hissing. Let's just take that back. I have got a bit of headroom left with volume as well. Okay. This infrasound, you know, it's in that corner. That's just our microphone. I know a lot of people talk about infrasound, which is 0 to 50 hertz, as well as ultrasound, which is after 20,000 hertz. But most microphones, once you start to amplify the signal, will begin to bleed this bass. I call it bass frequency. I prefer never to use the words infrasound because it's too suggestive for me. Thank you. So let's see what we can do. Let's turn the volume up. There you go. Turn that back again. Just of course you're turning it back to just get rid of the bleed frequency, we'll call it. There you go. Very low. Some distance away that. Now that wrap there, because it's so far away, you know, if something, I think I measured around 35 foot away, if a wrap on the skirting board area, which is where it tends to come from, the camera doesn't tend to pick it up. The closer it is, the more volume you're going to get, obviously, but that's not loud enough for that camera to alarm. It's just simply not loud enough. So the reason why it has alarmed is because of this sound here. That is so loud. That's what's triggered the 1 minute of CCTV footage. Coincidentally, we just get this additional extra because what I've always said with this room is it produces literally hundreds, if not thousands, of these unexplained raps. And if something's triggered, if it's loud enough, it'll trigger the camera, or if something else triggered the camera, such as a light anomaly, the camera gets records 1 minute, and you often find you've got a rap in there as well. So I don't think it's associated with this, because you need to treat multiple events singly as one single event. So that one I'm not sure with, what would cause that blip, but that's what's triggered it. Then we've got this very distinct rap at that frequency, and if we wanted to, we can actually increase the frequency around that area. I don't like enhancement too much. It's just a question of backing it back again. And what you're looking for the frequency to do is get rid of that's bleeding, so you're showing no, but it does show when you hear the rap. There you go, just there. And it's always that frequency, no other spread at all. And the further away the noise, the more ambience or resonance it brings with it. So although it's low in volume, you certainly would get a little bit more frequency in there, but it's just very distinctive, just that frequency there. So I'm pretty confident whatever causing the wrap is not a contact surface that's being struck. There's got to be some other explanation for these very distinctive wraps, and we've had bloody hundreds in this building. Of those that have followed the case carefully will acknowledge. Yeah, bang on, definite 100% wrap, that one. Right, okay. Now, just following this, there seems to be some sort of talk. Right, disappeared. Now this could be because I've obviously taken a lot of EQ out. So I'm going to put it back to flat and turn it back up. Let's just and see if we can pick it back up again. There's it. Once you actually hear the rap, this is followed by this. I don't think this is a voice, although when I first heard it, it did sound voice-ish, mainly because of the tempo. But I'm pretty. That's more like shuffling, and it seems to react to the rap. You've got to look at this frequency. It just pieces away. Then it's back again there. There. That isn't human frequency. It's not a voice that's talking it. So it could be shuffling type of sound. We've had a couple of incidents of like footsteps which I've looked at. I'm just not sure. It seems to just stop. It only goes on for. In fact, let's see how long it does go on for. How many seconds? Let's go back to the beginning with the rap. Yeah, it's just completely disappeared. And you can keep your frequency there. It's certainly gone, I think, by that point at 14 seconds. 8, 9, yeah, it's about 4 seconds. Sorry, 6 seconds in total. From 8 seconds to 14 seconds, quite early on. Yeah, it's about 6 seconds. I just don't know. It could be shuffling. Okay. Okay. So we've got 3 events there. We've got the obviously initial. We'll call it a burst. It's very distinctive electrical